Well, let's just take a check on this Dundee team. They've got problems in central defence with Brent Sancho and Tom Hutchinson injured. So young Callum MacDonald comes into the defence to partner Bobby Mann. Up front, Alec Cardera is preferred to both John Sutton and Fabiano Caballero. That'll be interesting. He'll partner Steve Lovell, who's assured manager Jim Duffy he can play despite missing training on Thursday with a virus.
Yeah, I think they're just there with the four at the back. I think they'll be pretty flexible. Barry Smith, Mark Fothering will play tight together and try and get one of the Robin Anderson supporting Lovell and Cardera up front.
For Celtic too, they have Alan Thompson and Chris Sutton, as we said, suspended. And Stanislav Varga is still troubled by the ankle injury sustained against Barcelona in midweek. There's still no starting place for Juninho, but Aidan McGeady and Stephen Pearson will play in the flanks, and Magnus Hedman starts his fourth consecutive game in goal.
Yeah, 4-4-2, the standard Celtic setup. It's nice to see McGeady getting a go, putting a lot of confidence and trust in the young player above Juninho. So it's a good signs for the younger players trying to emerge through into the Celtic side.
And they're in the dugout, in the tunnel, or rather, ready to emerge for the start of the match. Barry Smith, who left Celtic in 1995, just before Jackie McNamara, his counterpart this afternoon, joined Celtic from Dunfermline. Another pairing coming out will be Bobo Baldi and Ian Anderson, both of whom played together for Toulouse some years ago. Quite a reception than normal for the teams as they emerge from the tunnel, led out by the referee Charlie Richmond. So bottom against top. It's a game which Celtic will be looking at with some concern in the light of what's happening right now, and only a 1-point lead. And up front, Steve Lovell is partnered by Alec Cardera, 24-year-old Brazilian, the first Brazilian to play for Dundee. He was playing most recently in Greek football, but he did play for his Club America against Vasco da Gama when their star player was one Juninho.
John Hartson coming in off the goal against Barcelona, 74 goals, I think in 132 appearances. A phenomenal goal-scoring record he has for Celtic. Everywhere he goes, that man scores goals.
So Jim Duffy, a man with a lot of responsibility on his very talented managerial shoulder. I think that's well recognised throughout the game, that he does really know his business, as of course does this man, Martin O'Neill, who has now to cope with some little problem or two in the Celtic season. Form not quite so good in recent times, and he has these problems with missing players, particularly Thompson, Sutton and Varga this afternoon. So the indication is clear that Celtic will start the match. We have the team with the worst record for conceding goals, Charlie Richmond in charge there. Dundee, who've lost 29 goals in the league this season, playing against the team which has scored most, and that of course is Celtic with 38. So a quick check on the setup here indicates straight away that McGeady starts the game on the left-hand side. Stephen Pearson is playing one in a five-man midfield, so it looks like three at the back for Celtic this afternoon. First little bit of more there for McGeady. The defence stands firm, and this is Jos Valhaeren, who's replacing Varga in central defence beside Bobo Balde. This is a chase on here, Kamara and MacDonald. And the young defender, Callum MacDonald, copes well with that. He's played 11 games this season at right back for Dundee, but in central defence because of the injuries to Sancho and Hutchinson this afternoon.
An enthusiastic player in Callum MacDonald. Plays at full-back, can come in and play at centre-half. It's just that pace that we just saw that could be letting him down today against Kamara.
A good lead there by Anderson. It's helped on by Lovell. We're going to see how Steve Lovell copes, because it's difficult at this level with the energy required, Mark, surely to come back from a little bit of a virus problem.
Yeah, so sent home from training on Thursday, suffering from a little bit of a virus, but I think such as the needs of the club that Stevie Lovell's put himself in there just to get probably an hour out of him.
Just taking a very careful look at that Dundee lineup, because Jim Duffy did tell us before the game that he's going to try something a little bit different, a little bit innovative, and what appears to be the case is that the back four of McNally, MacDonald, Mann and Fernandez are being protected by Barry Smith and Mark Fotheringham. Then there are three ahead of that, Cardera, Anderson and Robb, with one up front in Steve Lovell. So 4-2-3-1 formation as Kamara breaks into the box. And that's well taken at the near post by Derek Suter. Kamara showing electric pace once again.
Yeah, good start from Kamara's. A couple of good layups, a little running behind there. Just not enough on there to cut the ball back, but early signs for Kamara. He's got the legs of young Callum MacDonald.
Good challenge made by Balde. This is Agat. Here's Bobby Mann. Balde forced to hurry there by the attentions of Lovell. His energy really is a huge component in his game for Dundee. And he goes again. Good link-up play with Robb. Still, Stephen Robb heading for the byline. It's fine play by the winger. And good positioning by Jos Valharan to intercept. Agat wanted Petrov to come short. He didn't, so it's Lennon who takes possession first. A little casual that from Petrov. Hernandez back to Fotheringham. Former Celtic players, both Smith and Fotheringham. Good strong challenge there by Pearson. Was he caught by Smith? He thought so. The referee didn't agree. Fotheringham forward. Anderson under pressure. Oh, a little bit scrappy in the midfield for the moment. Sides attempt to settle down. Watson coming deep. Now Valharan to McNamara. Long by Bobby Mann. Interesting formation up for Dundee, Mark. What do you make of it?
Yeah, making it difficult. I think they're trying to put keep it tight through the middle, as you said, with their Barry Smith and Mark Fotheringham, just to protect the two centre halves, and having a staggered formation where they've got basically people in most areas of the midfield positions.
It does mean, of course, a mammoth task for Lovell up front. This is Hernandez. Now Anderson. Good play. Hernandez. Robb. Comfortable on this left-hand side, attacking Agat. Well, that's very good play, but the pace of Agat crucial in that recovery.
Yeah, good start from young Robb. Not afraid to take on Agat. He's pretty confident as well.
Perhaps some work for Magnus Hedman early in the game. It's back with Hernandez. Good block by Lennon. Play ball in. And a good block also by Hedman as Lovell closed in. Space down for Pearson. He has Kamara through the middle. McGeady also on the far side. Excellent defending there initially by Hernandez, but he needed a recovery tackle made there by Callum MacDonald and Kamara to save the day for Dundee. Anderson towards Smith. Pearson very lively in the centre of midfield, obviously relishing that opportunity. Nimble play again from Kamara for a bright start to the match. Lennon again forward. This is Kamara, and the offside flag is up against John Hartson as the ball was passed to Kamara, in fact.
Yeah, clearly offside there. John Hartson just getting caught ball watching there. Bobby Mann just stepping up. Simple decision.
Well, Leisman was right. Give him his due. Gary Sweeney in below us. Derek Suter now with the free kick. Peter Anderson took a knock there, just a wrap on his ankle. I think as he clashed with Agat. Helps it on. Here's Agat. Pearson's given that straight to Cordera, but he was fouled by Fotheringham. The kick already taken. Celtic on the move with Hartson out of the play, tying his bootlace in his own half. Trying now to get into the attacking area. In fact, he's not been picked up coming into the far corner of the box, and McGeady could see him. He didn't, so McNally can tidy up. Interesting to see whether or not Celtic keep as many men back when they only have one striker to contend with. Will they adjust their tactical setup?
Well, I think that's right. Basically, I think Martinelli might have just outthought his opposite number, Jim Duffin, by playing the three at the back. You need to play three at the back, I think, against one, especially with a guy the pace that Stevie Lovell's got. You know, he can get between the spaces, so three I would have thought would have been a minimum.
Rob did well to get in front of Len, and Baldy was all over Lovell there. Referee Richmond not at all troubled about that, but these supporters were. More support from Neil Lennon coming from the Celtic supporters. Now Rob, good tackle by Agat. Smith to Fotheringham. Here's Lovell. Good challenge made on him by Jos Valhaeren. Here's Hartson. Thumping tackle by Mann to the back of Kamara. Well, Bobby Mann has been around the houses in Scottish football terms. St Johnstone, Forfar, Inverness, Cali Thistle, and now Dundee, where his best opportunities come. It's a very committed challenge. Lennon's free kick. Now Petrov, long range attempt perhaps. It's one area perhaps where Celtic will miss Alan Thompson particularly, just that delivery around these set pieces about the penalty box.
Yep, you'll be right there, Joe. I think there's a lot of pressure on that man there to come up with the goods today. I think he's been quiet over the past month or so, and I think that Martinelli will be looking for him to sort of get into a vein of form, getting his shots off and in around the box. He's got the ability.
Well done by Caldera. Baldi has time to bring it down. Well, there were some great challenges there involving Mann and Hartson, I'm sure, in the match. Well won back by Kamara for Celtic. Here's McGeady. Forward goes McNamara. Pass overhit towards Lovell. Easy for the two centre-backs. McNamara getting forward again. Crunching tackle there from Barry Smith. Well, already indications that Dundee are going to be playing a rear guard performance today. This is Petrov again trying to set up a shot. Well, that's very good play by Petrov, but he has been forced wide well by Hernandez. Good experience defending. Didn't allow him into the danger area. There's Kamara. A little bit obvious. Donald read that well.
It was good defending there from Dundee, pushing the ball out to the wider areas of the park.
That's good play by Petrov again. Hartson well tackled by Mann. Lovell on his own. Celtic enjoying the bulk of possession early in the match. The away side.
Yeah, it's important that the balls that come up to Stevie Lovell are up the side of the defenders. Anything in front or over the top of him, the ball will probably be coming straight back on top of Dundee. So it's important that service from the back up to that lone striker.
Good pick up there by Caldera after the clash between Baldi and Anderson, the old teammates. The gap can bring it clear. Kamara's on the right touchline. Hartson over the far corner of the box. Good play again from Dundee. Well, they have to do something they haven't done for a very long time if they're going to take something to this match. Strong play there by McNally, a foul by McNamara. Well, the youngster did very well indeed against such an experienced player. Steve McNally, 20 years old.
Good committed tackle there from young McAnally. And a little pull back there from Jackie McNamara. Linesman right on it.
The kick straight in there to Hartson's head. bulleted back out straight to Fotheringham. Kamara standing in no ceremony at all. I made the point that we have to fight history here in Dundee. We've only won one of the last 37 league meetings between the two clubs, and that was after Celtic had actually won the league a couple of years ago. There's Rob against Agat. It's gone for the goal kick. Scored it behind calmly. Stephen Robb has shown a willingness to attack Agat on that flank.
Yep, he's shown plenty of confidence every time he gets the ball. It's a good starting position, so he's getting himself at Agat all the time. I think just a lack of concentration there. Took his eye off the ball.
Headed on there by Fotheringham, straight to Balde. So, a bit of concern about Didier Agat's fitness, Mark.
Yeah, just stretching his hamstring off there. We said the midweek the exploits, the travelling.
Careless that ball from Bobby Mann. So, another throw here. It's very impetuous. Last 10 goals for Celtic have all been away from home. 5 to score in 17 matches against Dundee. Here's Agat. Smith doing that again. It's a turn quickly by Lennon. Ball's headed away. Pearson strong against Cadella. Foul's committed. It's a free kick to Celtic. And again, another situation where Alan Thompson would have been very welcome.
It's nice to see the Cadera, the Brazilian, working back there, but giving him a free kick away in a dangerous area.
So Lennon and Petrov over the ball. Just two in the wall. Petrov has a foul, all right. Going for the angled ball in. Could have been awkward. Well, it came off Bobby Mann's boot, but it certainly wasn't a deliberate pass back.
It was a good ball in. Good ball, nice and low, nice and flat.
Lennon's header. That's Smith. It was Robb. Misunderstanding there with Anderson, allowing possession to be taken by Celtic. This is McGeady. And now Pearson. Good passing this from Celtic. Final ball cut off by Bobby Mann. This is Hernandez. Well, a big threat, I'm sure, Dundee was losing an early goal to give Celtic that big boost at the start of the match.
Yeah, I think Jim Duffy would be wanting to, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, keeping everything nice and tight. Not leave a lot of time with Celtic players on the ball.
Space here for McGeady. Good movement on by Petrov. The flag went up. Petrov was not happy with McGeady's pass. He's made that point quite clearly to the 18-year-old.
Very, very tight, that one. Very tight. Bobby Mann just having a few words with Johnny Hernandez.
McNamara fouled from the back by Alexander Cardera. Alexander on his back. Easier perhaps to spell. So Michael's heading and waves everyone away. He'll take the free kick. Will Mark Neil be happy with this start, you think, Mark?
I think yes. After the midweek, I think the formation that Jim Duffy's put up, I think they're just starting to get to grips with that. But, I think they'll be quite pleased. I think they'll probably want a little bit more effort on their Derek Suter's goal, but I think in general, defensively, Celtic have not looked troubled, so I think they'll be quite pleased.
McGeady, skill again from the young man, and the cross goes behind for the goal kick. Well, that's the area for all wide men, isn't it, Mark? They've got to deliver after the good build-up play.
It is. It's that final ball. You know that you makes and breaks your wingers. Aidan McGady's got all the tricks, got the quick feet, can always create that space to deliver. But it's all about the delivery.
Slater's goal kick. Strong challenge again by Baldy. That's not an even contest, that Baldy against Anderson. And there's a hold up here because Anderson took a heavy blow there in that challenge on Baldy, which was perfectly fair, but the physique of Baldy was the problem for Anderson.
Yeah, big lunge there. Didn't seem to be much contact at all there. I think it must have been if he must have just felt a little bit awkwardly. And as you say, it's a mismatch, that ball. That's why it's important, I think, when the ball is coming from back to front, that it's not up there, it's up the side of defenders. Always the favourite, Baldy there. Anything above the centre forward's head.
Maybe just get a blow on the side there. That was the only thing that might have caught him. He'll be back all right. Interesting too, Charlie Richmond, the referee, had a strong word there off the ball with John Hartson about speech play after that decision was given. Certainly not a card-happy referee. He's only had 3 red cards in 13 matches this season, and all 3 were in the same match, the same club, St Johnstone against St Mirren. And Rob is penalised. And a bit of pushing there on Agat. I think the young man's unlucky.
I think a little bit of both there from Agat and from Rob. It's been a good contest so far, this. Not a lot in that at all. I think Agat, just knowing that the ball was running away from him, going down pretty easy. And the referee fell for it.
Ian Anderson's back on the field. And restored for full complement as Callum MacDonald picks up here for Dundee. There's Anderson. Eased off the ball by Lennon. Sandwich between Lennon and Pearson, and I'll tell you that was an act of complete folly by Stephen Pearson. Hurling the ball back there, leaving Charlie Richmond, the referee, with no option but to have a word with him. In fact, he's being very indulgent about that, I would suggest. Yeah,
I think he's been pretty generous there with young Mr. Pearson.
Man playing it on there to Cadera. Shot in the top, blocked by Mulharan. Now space for McGeady. Good change of pace, but running straight into McNally. Now Pearson again. He has certainly put himself about early in the match. Pass goes astray, allowing Hernandez to break on the Celtic defence. Rob again. Anderson inside, but bothering him. Well, he has a very good shot, Mark Fotheringham, but that was asking an awful lot.
A little bit optimistic there, a good 35, 38 yards out there, but nevertheless, quite prepared to have a dig.
McNamara across here to Balde. There's plenty of time to pick out a pass, and he picks out McGeady. Good recovery by Smith. That was almost through the gap for Lovell. Balde did well intercepting.
Was the ball that we're looking for. A lot of space behind there. Can afford to overhit that because Stevie Lovell will get on the end of them.
McGeady's chest down for Hartson, and there was a good covering play there by Callum MacDonald. Too much pace in the pass, but his positioning was good against that.
I think that's his game will have to be all about positioning today. All about positioning with that lack of pace up against Kamara.
Free kick to Dundee. Bobby Mann restoring the ball. He wants to get the ball forward. They certainly have settled and bedded in Dundee with this new formation. They must be growing in confidence.
Yeah, Jim Duffy will be delighted the way his team has started. Not on the back foot. They're trying to get the ball forward as quickly as possible.
So free kick given there against McNamara, but holding back Cadera after the ball broke inside. Mulharan made the final challenge, which was not in any way penalised.
Yeah, Jackie McNamara hands all over the Cadera there. So good little technique, Cadera. Just bring the ball down as you would expect from a Brazilian.
Stephen Robb's going across to take this left-footed. Mark Fotheringham usually takes the set pieces, number 8 there for Dundee. Well, no one in that position. It was certainly not a bad ball if one of the big men had gone into the far post area.
Yeah, just a lack of communication there. It's obviously one for the from the training ground that just went awry.
Petrov winning the high ball. That's Smith. Ball level did well. Good reaction. There's Rob. Well, I thought he was held back well by Valde, with so did the Dundee supporters, but referee didn't.
It's good play again.
Free kick's been given.
Yeah, good play again there from Rob. Quite prepared to run down the outside. Baldy just coming across in there, just a wee bit of obstruction. Tenacity winning a throw-in.
And young Rob unlucky there to turn it behind for the goal kick. Dundee coming more in the match, 50-50 in possession after Celtic's early dominance in that area of the game. Well, Martin O'Neill, I'm sure, expected a tough match this afternoon. He's getting one. Smith did well, a little nudge on Hartson, which the referee saw nothing wrong with. Anderson forcing it across to Cardera. That's picked up easily by Pearson. A great chance now for Celtic in the break. Kamara now can go to the penalty box. Kamara, great block by Suter. Excellent goalkeeping by the under-21 international.
Yeah, ball lost in that middle area. Pearson getting the ball at the Kamara. McDonald out to him. Great save from Suter.
Still more work to do perhaps. Petrov helps it on, away from Mann to Pearson. Fotheringham leads the break. Anderson is down, injured again after that challenge from Pearson. That's for Rob to attack, but the gap is quick enough. Definitely some concern, I think, about Ian Anderson in the Dundee ranks. He went down for a spell of treatment after clashing with Valde, and again, labouring in midfield.
Yeah, just struggling with that hip.
Hernandez and Mann. It's well played down by Fotheringham. Good play by Dundee. Excellent play. Space down the right-hand side from McNally. Away from McGeady. That's good play by the youngster. And eventually the free kick goes to Dundee, with the attentions of McGeady battling back, doing the unglamorous chores.
This is where Dundee have to try and make the most of their set pieces in and around the Celtic box.
So a hold up here. The wall was not back far enough, the two-man wall. Piece there. I don't know whether the fourth official's given the referee some assistance there, but he certainly has held things up to ensure that McGeady and Kamara retreat far enough. Jim Duffy gesticulating over the far side. Right to the far post it goes this time. The player challenging was Anderson, who's definitely in trouble. Won by Hartson. That's Hernandez. Hedman's committed. Makes the catch confidently.
Yeah, good take there from Hedman. Made that ball is right from the time it left Hernandez's foot.
Kamara quickly in there across Hernandez. This is Petrov. Now Kamara. Pearson. McGeady. Well, Fotheringham was simply beaten by skill there.
Yeah, McGeady just shifting the ball from left to right. It's done by the skill. There you go.
take the ball so close to defenders like that and use the quick feet, you're going to have one or two heavy challenges, I think. Another opportunity for Celtic from the set piece. He's going to take this. Well won by Smith. Lovell was only Rob to hit in the attack. Tied up very promptly by McNamara. Offside flag is up on the near side. Martin O'Neill is very angry about that.
Linesman right on it again. Yeah. The ball when the ball was leaving there. John Hartson just getting caught in there. Just lazy play.
Back in his seat, Martin O'Neill. That's about the first time since the match started. O'Halloran's headed away, following him with Pearson. Taken down by McNamara. And forward with purpose. Kamara. Petrov doing a run, and that was the intended target. Here's Kamara again. Lennon takes over. That's misses Kamara. Celtic have it back. Dundee yielding the ball much too easily, I'm sure, for Jim Duffy's liking, especially inside their own half. Well, was heavy there in that challenge with Lennon. Yes, the referee's quite right. A little bit rash.
Did the right thing initially, get the ball on his chest. Just went astray there with that pass. And a nice full blow to Lennon's thigh.
Baldy's gone forward, so too has Valharan. Put in by Lennon. Clarkson helps it on. And called for that, but Fotheringham went it first. And once again, surviving in defence.
Playing well at the back there, Bobby Mann. Young McDonald working away at the Celtic strikers, working the line, moving the strikers up and down.
It's a good turn by Kamara. He used McGeady initially as a decoy. Now give the youngster the chance to go towards the byline. It's fine play. Hernandez managed to get that over the bar. That couldn't have been easy.
A smile on Johnny Hernandez's face there. But a great position is taken up. Good defensive position just inside that far post. Great play from McGeady here. Step over. McDonald on the back foot. Just needed a striker there.
McGeady again with a corner kick. That's the last of another corner. The linesman's made that easier for the referee, who was on the blind side. Short corner this time. Dundee rather slow in coming out to cope with that. Should be offside, but he's not. McGeady again doing the better of Fotheringham. Rob has done well against the Gat. Pearson recovering. A very good tackle.
Great play from Pearson there, just on the cover. Initially good work there from Rob. Great pace from Pearson and a great tackle.
There was an opportunity there for Rob had Pearson not been there for the tackle. Now Barry Smith. Following him. Keeping possession well. Hounded there by Lennon. Misunderstanding there, Cadera and McNally. But Celtic's possession. Here's McNamara. Oh, great movement again from Pearson. Good chance for Celtic. Just too far ahead of John Hartson.
It's a super move there from Celtic. Great early ball through for Pearson from McNamara. As soon as this ball left, I thought that was a goal, but just too far in front of Hartson. Great run from Pearson there. Just seen him at the other end of the pitch making a tackle. Now breaking into the box.
Some ominous signs though for Dundee. Stephen Pearson looking very impressive in the heart of midfield there. And Celtic producing some good, sharp, penetrative moves. Here's Kamara. McGeady checked out of the run. He was originally going for that, then stayed to take a pass square. Back with McDonald. Now Fotheringham. Oh, that's good play, stepping away from Lennon. Lennon recovers well. Petrov to Pearson. Well, Pearson's doing his cause a lot of good this afternoon so far. Fouled on that occasion by Smith.
Yeah, caught with the second foot there, Barry Smith. Gets through a power work in that midfield area. And Pearson there just too quick. Just catching him with the trailing leg there, Barry Smith.
So McGeady is taken over from Alan Thompson for these set pieces. Or will Petrov have an attempt on goal? Oh, Lovell did well. He did very well indeed there. And the linesman's confirming it wasn't a hand, it was a head of Lovell.
Needed to get the touch there. Great ball in. Just come, I thought it came off the back of Bobo Baldy there. I think that's what the Dundee players were claiming.
Corner kick turned away again for yet another. Came off Callum McDonald. Very important phase in the match this. Well past the half hour, still no goals. Celtic piling on some pressure here. This is McGeady. Once again, Dundee have coped. Helped on by Kamara, by Petrov. Got the better of Bobby Mann for the high ball there.
It's a good little knockdown there from Petrov. Just slightly overhit with the header.
Now Mark Fotheringham has possession for Dundee. It's in towards Lovell, a great chance for Dundee, and Lovell has scored!
And that's what Stevie Lovell gives you. That was the ball we've been talking around. Up the side of the defender. That man will get on the end of him, and he will score goals. A super finish there. First chance of the game for Stevie Lovell. Finding the far corner. A super, super goal for the striker.
Goal number 8 for the season for Steve Lovell. The Celtic defence was carved open for this.
Great run up the side there. Hedman going down a little bit early there.
Well, what a goal that was. Steve Lovell, an injury doubt or an illness doubt before the match, plays and justifies his own faith and that of his manager Jim Duffy. Great credit due to Mark Fotheringham for the quality of the pass.
Yeah, super pass up the side of the defender where we were saying.
And Hartson trying to reply very quickly indeed.
Yeah, good play from John Hartson there. The ball knocked into him using his physique to get the ball down on his chest. Half turn, getting that shot off. Bobby Mann just doing enough there to close that shot down.
Yeah, Mann did well actually, got very tight on him. Made it difficult. Strong challenge by Pearson. Well, it's changed the complexion of the game somewhat. It's given Dundee a real cause now. Team at the bottom of the SPL, leading Celtic, the leaders. Slipped by Petrov. This is Barry Smith now to Rob. Oh, great play by Rob. And a fine tackle by Bobo Baldy. Stood up well, timed the challenge perfectly.
Super play all around there. Good attacking play, great defensive play.
Another chance there for Lovell, blocked by Baldy. Stephen McNally now into space, but Cadera had come short for the pass.
Yeah, super little run there from Rob. Jinking little nutmegs there on a gat. The super defending here from Baldy, just taking the ball there. Super play.
So a little alteration of the Celtic tactics. Aidan McGeady's come to the right-hand side, and it looks as though Stephen Pearce has been pushed to the left. So more orthodox looking 4-4-2 now. I'm not sure that Stephen Pearce will be overjoyed about that, because he was having a lot of joy in that midfield area.
Yeah, he was. And I think he's pretty flexible. Stephen Pearson.
Oh, it's great play again from Pearson. The cross well cut out by Mann. Good defending after terrific attacking play.
Pearson just showing his flexibility there. Getting down the outside again. Looking the left foot, ball in, but Bobby Mann again. Right place at the right time.
Corner kick goes to Baldy, and back from Petrov. And Barry Smith gets it away for Dundee, living very dangerously. Lennon and Kamara together. Now McNamara. Target is Baldy, who's stayed in the box. He's won it well. And a fine effort there by Valharan.
It's a good chance that from Valharan. Good ball into the far post. And Baldy, a knock back. I'd say half a chance there for Valharan.
Well, a very spirited response this from Celtic, as you would expect, of course. The league leaders a goal behind.
And Martin O'Neill now on the edge of his technical area, starting to put the orders around.
Valharan's clearance, that's Hernandez. Put up by Lennon. To debate the issue, but thinks better of it. Fortunately, there's Folleringham, and a bit of swerve in that one. The headman had to be careful.
Quick free kick taken there, catching Celtic asleep. And Mark Folleringham, we've seen he's tried the effort from that distance before, but comfortable save in the end for Edmund.
Pearson is due all now, wide that left touchline. Petrov has McNamara supporting on the left. Now Valharan for Celtic. Enjoying lots of possession now. A little danger perhaps that Dundee are thinking of holding what they have, rather than getting into attacking positions more often. Here's Ian Anderson, who seems to have shaken off that hip or side injury. Man standing in no ceremony.
Yeah, it was a tough ball there. McAnally knocked back to him. No nonsense, just getting the ball up and out of play instead of getting himself in trouble.
Here's McNamara now with the throw for Celtic. Ali's header on. Here's Pearson. Stepping away there from McNally, who brings him down. Well, he's going to be yellow carded, but he was just completely outpaced there.
Pearson just out, stretching there, and just done by the pace. McAnally picking up a yellow card.
Well, he'll certainly have to be careful if he's playing against Pearson or McGeady for the rest of the game. McGeady with the free kick. Powerful figure of Bobby Mann gets there first for Dundee. Here's a Gat, and now Lennon. I'm not sure that was his intention, but it's very effective indeed. McGeady now. The rash tackle would have been easy there. McNally did well against Baldy. Young man sticking to his task.
Look at his hands fall down that side of the pitch. Pearson, McGeady and Baldy are just doing enough there to stop the cross coming in.
McGeady's cross this time. Deflected away again by Bobby Mann. Can Dundee survive this onslaught? Obviously they'd love to get to half-time in front, and Celtic don't want that to happen. They don't fancy kind of rollicking from the manager at half-time with a goal behind. That's good play for McGeady again. And he's fouled once more by Folleringham. Well, he's proving to be a real handful, McGeady.
Good header as well, helping back there. McGeady with all the tricks. And another free kick in a dangerous area.
This time Petrov taking charge. I wonder if he might go for goal here. There's the answer. He did. Derek Suter aligned to that.
Comfortable take for Suter, straight down his throat. Poor throw out.
Pressure right back on them again as Petrov sets up McGeady. Here's Petrov. Sure, this is the equaliser. A great bit of goalkeeping again by Suter. Baldi showing some trickery on the flank. Well, Derek Suter's only had 3 shutouts in his 17 matches so far this season, but he still has performed heroically, as he does here.
Yeah, super save here. Thought a stick on that was going to be a goal, but a great, strong left hand there from Suter, pushing the ball out the danger area as well. Martin O'Neill showing his frustration.
Going to have 1 additional minute in this first half, so that's 3 minutes in all. Really for Dundee to survive, I would suggest, the way the game's being played at the moment. There's been a very hectic reaction from Celtic to losing that goal.
Since the goal, has been about 10-15 minutes of sustained pressure, free kicks in and around the box. But so far, the back four have held fast.
Kamara back to Lennon. Here's Pearson. Support play by McNamara. Oh, he's away there from McNally. That's good play by McNamara. He's in another corner kick. Some fine forceful play in the flank.
A great run from McNamara. McAnally close there to bringing him down, but Barry Smith just getting himself across on the cover.
Short corner again. Once again, Dundee are slow to get men out. Petrov setting up McGeady. Got the 2 minds, I think. He's getting a second chance. Back with Lennon, being one of the big men. An offside flag was up, but the referee has acknowledged that. Will not stop the play.
Yeah, just Bobo Baldy. I think John Hartson just offside as well. Good work from the Dundee defence.
Possession now, all with Celtic in the last 15 minutes or so since they lost that goal. Plus it goes to McNamara. Good play from Pearson, the cut back, missing out Petrov. Played along there by Hernandez, and Magnus Hedman comes to resolve any difficulty for Valharan. Pumped in the back by Baldi on Lovell, and that takes some strain off Dundee.
Good play from Stevie Lovell there. Knew what he was doing. Ball bouncing in front of him, just made himself the target, and Baldi just coming through the back of him.
You see Dundee in no hurry at all to take this free kick. They want a half-time interval with that lead. The referee telling them they're going to move on. Whether this might go right behind for a goal kick even. Well, not quite, but
went for a line out there, I think, Bobby Man.
The idea is, I think, that the whole team can regroup and face the ball. That's the plan, I think. That's why I thought it might have been a goal kick again. So seconds ticking away towards the interval as Dundee cling to this precious lead. Lennon did well. So did Hartson. This is Pearson. Will there be enough time for an equaliser? The answer is clear. There won't be. Stevie Lovell has made all the difference with a wonderful goal for Dundee after terrific play by Mark Fotheringham. Look at the quality of that pass, the pace of Lovell, the accuracy of the finish. It's given Dundee a lead which they scarcely believed they could achieve. Celtic have thrown everything at them since that point. They haven't found the breakthrough. Dundee are defending resolutely with Suter an excellent ball. At half-time, Dundee 1, Celtic 0.
Rangers against Hearts just getting underway at Ibrox. Celtic 1 down at Dens. Here's the second half with Mark and Jock.
Thank you, Rob. Yes, we've got Dundee all set to start for the second half with that precious one goal. The only second time this season they scored a league goal in the first half. The last one was against Kilmarnock last month when Stephen Robb scored. So it's Dundee who get it underway. They've lost 5 of the last 6 league games. That's why they're bottom of the SPL right now, and yet they come into this second half with high hopes, having scored that fine goal in the first half through Steve Lovell. No change in either lineup in the second half. Can't imagine Mark Merrill staying that way for long.
No, I think we'll expect Celtic to come forward, throw the guns forward, kick it up the hill this half. Dundee down the slope.
Misunderstanding there between Headman and Mulhara, and the result was a corner kick to Dundee.
Yeah, lack of communication here. Clear shout from the goalkeeper.
Stephen Robb's come here to take a short one with Fotheringham. Oh, Pearson did well, showing terrific enthusiasm for the action this afternoon, welcoming this opportunity to establish himself again. He's testing the pace of Kamara to the full. Senegalese striker does well. Still Kamara coming straight into the penalty area. Shooting chance now perhaps. Hernandez intercepted. No question of that being a pass back either. Anderson is back out for the second half. We did wonder if he would make it after his troubles in the first half. He's still not moving very freely, and I wonder how long he might last. Lennon did well to prevent the corner, or did he manage that? No, he didn't. Another corner kick. It was 8-1 in corner kicks in the first half to Celtic, but already that's changed dramatically.
Well, Dundee started pretty well second half. As I say, coming down the slope, trying to get the ball forward as quickly as possible.
Rob drives it in. This is good. It's McDonald rather. Led away by Lennon. Cadera. Well, that's a fine effort by Cadera. Whoa, there's a real signal to all the defences in the SPL.
Only one thing on his mind there, getting himself turned, and what a strike that is. Good view from behind the goal there, just fading the wrong side of the post.
You can tell how truly it was struck to by the fact that it wasn't spinning in any way at all. Hit beautifully. Pearson and McNamara. Well, Jim Duffy has clearly done a real job with his team in half-time because they were getting deeper and deeper and deeper in defence before the interval. He's clearly told them to play in the other half as much as they can.
I think that's down to Celtic, that was. And I say, when you're playing on a slope like this here, Jock, you do tend to get drawn down and drawn down. Celtic were on top towards the end of the second half, but now they're playing higher up the park, getting the ball over the back of the Celtic defence, which encourages the defence and the midfield to follow up the park as well.
A little bit too much on that ball from Ian Anderson. It's Pearson again. Must have been identified along with McGeady as a major threat to this Dundee defence. Good challenge by McNally. Very strong. Kamara didn't like that one little bit. He looked hopefully towards the referee, but in vain. Agat. Powerful play by Agat. He has McGeady behind him. Standing that up, and it's Felix Suter again. In just the right place for Dundee. Lovell's a real handful there. It's any space to move in. O'Haran did well. This is Petrov. Pearson going outside McNally. Now back it comes to Petrov. Lennon. Giddy overdoing that a little, coming inside. Possession now enjoyed again by Celtic, knocking the ball around very effectively. But still looking for the final pass to open up this Dundee defence. McNamara again with Pearson hugging the touchline. Away from Cardera, promising for Celtic. And once again, it's Barry Smith who clears for Dundee.
And a great play from Pearson again there. Cardera trying to get a tackle in, but just skipping by, and a super ball across there. Just no Celtic players breaking the neck to get in there, getting across the defenders, but super defending from Barry Smith, just inside that far post again.
This time it's Ian Anderson who heads away from Henri Camara. It's another corner for the Dundee defence to face. A long second half at this rate. So Petrov goes across. Well, it's quite remarkable. I think how well McGeady and Pearson in particular have played in the match, and yet Dundee are still clinging to this lead. This is bothering them. Over the top it goes, looking for Robb. Good positioning by McNamara. That's a good header back by Anderson. Very effective.
Back four moving straight up there. The ball from Fotheringham, just following the ball up there in a good line.
Aldi's header, returned by Cardera. Anderson playing it wide for Robb. He's shown his willingness to attack a gap. Let's see if he'll do it again. Supported by Fotheringham. The deflection is a good one, and Cardera lets that go for the corner. Formed the view, he couldn't do much with that.
Good play from Robb there. Celtic out to close the ball down there. I think it just came off Lennon from Fotheringham. Looking to shape a shot into the top corner.
Stephen Robb with the corner. The driven ball is cut off by Pearson. And now the counter-attack is on at pace, led by Pearson. Kamara through the middle. Parson trying to get on terms after defending. And what a job this man does for his team. Barry Smith.
Yeah, a lot of work goes unnoticed from Barry Smith, but he's always there.
Fine play by Fotheringham, relishing this opportunity. Great effort by Fotheringham. Could have been goal number 2.
Fantastic play there, right from the start of that move. Barry Smith making a tackle, finding Mark Fotheringham. And just going, beautiful piece of skill there past Lennon. And the defender's just backing off and backing off. That's the last thing you want to do when you've got Mark Fotheringham coming at you. He's shown in the first half, he's quite prepared to have a dig from long distance.
Remember, it was Celtic's youngest ever first-team player, Fotheringham, at the age of 16. Great play by Pearson. Cut by, it's a good one, and another great block. But this time it's home. Turned in eventually by Kamara. It had to come, really, I felt.
We must admit, the inevitability was there. The amount of times that Stephen Pearson has got down this side, cut the ball back, super pace again. Great block from Petrov, a mishit from Hartson, but fell straight to Camara, who made no mistake. 1-1.
So it's Kamara's 8th goal of the season. And it brings Celtic back on terms. And the balance of play, he certainly couldn't grudge them that.
I think the amount of efforts that they've had down the wider areas, the balls that have been cut back, it's just been the end product that's not been too good. But at that time, finally, they've managed to hit the target.
Well, the irony too of football is the fact that Mark Fotheringham almost made it 2-0 just seconds earlier. McNamara for Celtic. Getting that goal so early removes a lot of anxiety, which would have increased as the second half had progressed if they hadn't been able to get a goal. This is Petrov again. Good deception by Hernandez. Anderson wide there for Hernandez. That's a careless one. McGeady attacking. That's for Kamara. That's a terrific tackle once again. This time by Ian Anderson.
Yeah, good play again from Celtic there. Poor play from Dundee, giving the ball away in a silly area.
It was the man who gave it away who made the tackle.
Yeah, great recovery from Anderson.
this to Pearson. Pearson's corner. Bumped away by the head of MacDonald. There's Pearson again. Can't get enough of the ball this afternoon. The way he's playing. Now Petrov. Holding him in strongly. Pass back forced there by the tensions of these eager knee players. Hetman turns it out for the throw.
Yeah, good play from Dundee there. Putting the ball under pressure, the player under pressure on the ball, forcing the ball all the way back.
So Hernandez now with the throw. This is Lovell holding off Balde. Pass doesn't reach Anderson. The willing figure of McNamara supports him left back. Kamara. Oh, it's good play. He was fouled by Mann.
Yeah, good play from Kamara there, dragging Bobby Mann out to the flanks. That's where the big man doesn't want to be. Just catching him, dragging his heel behind him, and just pulling camera down there. Fortunate there not to get a card. Another dangerous area.
To Petrov this time, offering the delivery. Again, this could bend in on Suter. Oh, it's Hartson! Offside! Look out! The flag was up for offside. Well, Hartson booted that home. He's not happy.
Yeah, the two came together. Player went down early. Could have been standing offside. Could have been a free kick. Well, the flag did go straight up.
Well, I think it was offside, I must say. The linesman was on the spot instantly there. Disappointment for Hartson. Could have been his 15th of the season. It's a very impressive scoring record because he doesn't play 90 minutes all the time. Sometimes comes off the bench, sometimes starts and then is replaced. So scoring record's terrific. There goes Rob against Agat. Rob has won the battle. He needs support. Can he get there? Not quite. I'll give him credit for his energy and determination this afternoon.
Great determination from Rob again. Up against one of the quickest players in the league, but still prepared to have a go.
There's McGeary. Pearson holding off McNally. McNally trying to get close to him, not letting him turn. Can't match him for pace if he's running at him. Larson did well. Kamara also. Retrieved here by Fotheringham. Kamara wins it back. Oh, it's good play. And by Hernandez. Very well read. So that's turned away there by Petrov to Lennon. Here's Agat. Now Agat again. Looking for Hartson. So near to goal number 2 for Celtic. Hernandez battling hard against Agat and Hartson. It's given away straight to McNamara. Now Pearson. Clumsy first touch. Here's Hernandez. Rob was held back by Agat this time. And Agat will be spoken to. It's going to be a word of warning for Didier Agat. Use of the arms there.
Good play again from Rob there. Great first touch. Was skipping away from Agat. And a straightforward free kick.
Out there for the throw. Mark O'Neill agitated again on that touchline, urging his men on. Game still not won. Held down by Hernandez. That's following him. Here's Pearson, cut off by McNally. Lovell needs support, didn't get enough. McNamara across there to McGeady. This is McNamara. And now Lennon. Kamara. Petrov. Hartson's peeled off to the right. That was for Kamara, but he was caught there, and it was Mann who made sure that came to no harm. Well, nearly it was a goal there scored by Hartson just a moment ago. And let's look at this again. There's the header. The flag's still down at this point. And at that point it went up, and Hartson spotted it right away, and the fourth official has confirmed to Martin O'Neill it was offside, the reason for that goal being chopped off. Here's McGeady. And it's McGeady again. Dundee are about to make a change. Gary Brady will come on. I suspect it'll be for Ian Anderson. Here's McGeady. This is a great chance again. Too easy for Hartson.
That is too easy. We've seen it time and time again down this left-hand side. Super ball out here. McGeady just skipping back into the box. And that is a simple finish for Hartson. Great ball for McGeady, just sliding across the back foot. And a simple finish for Hartson.
Goal number 15 for John Hartson. Well, every time Celtic attacking the flanks, there's a threat. So now Dundee have it all to do, trailing by 2-1. The strikers have done the damage, helped by the flankmen. Well, there's a big match also at Ibrox, Rangers against Hearts, and a big shock it has been for the Rangers players and supporters, because a penalty kick's been awarded for a tackle by Boumsong on De Vries. The result was a penalty kick, and Paul Hartley was the player for Hearts who converted. So Hearts have taken the lead at Ibrox just before Celtic did so here at Dens. Headman's goal kick. Hartson coming back here. Here's Barry Smith, strong in that challenge, still looking for a pass. He finds Lovell now. Prefers it in inside right channel, I must say, but there he goes, looking for something in the box. No penalty given, Charlie Richmond tells him. No question of that being a foul. But that was, no doubt about that one. Well, Stevie Lovell very disappointed here.
Yeah, getting the ball, just skipping between the two. A little bit of a sandwich, but I think Stevie Lovell wasn't playing for that. He was just trying to get it onto his good foot.
I'll tell you, the halfway line, it's a foul.
You're probably right there, Joe.
Well, must have been a very tight decision by Charlie Richmond, the referee. But it's gone against Dundee. We're about to make that change in just a second or two. It looks as though the Brazilian Caldera might not be taking too much more part in the game. It suggests that Ian Anderson's made a good recovery. That's great play by Petrov. Pearson takes over. Well, Caldera perhaps has sensed the possibility maybe withdrawn, and he's putting himself about. Here he goes again against McNamara and against Lennon. But still Celtic have the ball. Pearson. Petrov. McNamara. Celtic now can display as much patience as they want in possession. They have the lead. The points look to be going back to Celtic Park. Handball there by Kamara. Well, the referee has spotted the activity on the touchline. Gary Brady will come on. It will be Alexander Caldera who's going off. Well, with that glimpse of that thundering left foot shot at goal, that was the biggest thing he produced really in the match.
Yeah, I think that's about the only thing we've seen from him. Very quiet, playing in a withdrawn role.
Celtic supporter comes on. Gary Brady.
Completely different sort of player, a busy player, Gary Brady.
Well, it means he goes into the middle of midfield and Ian Anderson goes to the flank where Cardera was operating, and Anderson, of course, is a natural flank player, so he'll be quite happy about that. Here's McNally. That's for Anderson in his new role, where he can't get on the end of it.
I think still suffering, Anderson, from that knock to the hip.
So Mulholland here with the throw. Austin helps it on for Kamara. Kamara again, using his pace to accelerate away. Straight into man. Wins the throw off the Celtic striker. The haircut showing the H, presumably it's been all Reed. Comes off Mulholland, that's Lovell. It goes Balde with the clearance, standing again in no cylinder, gets that ball out. There's no reason to try to be clever. Keep it simple at the back. Must be the Celtic motto, I think. Here's McNally. Well, Dundee have played with lots of commitment and spirit right from the start. I suspect they'll still think they can do something like that.
I think so. I think you've got to start and push a few bodies further forward from the midfield areas to support Stevie Lovell if they're going to get something from this game.
There's a gap, leaving that for Rob. Now Lovell again. Lovell! He scored! No, it's chopped off. Handball against Lovell. Oh, the disappointment among the new players is unbelievable.
Neil Lennon absolutely furious with his defenders there.
Well, Lennon having a go at the gap for this.
Shocking defending there from the gap. Just get the ball out of the box. I think it was just dangerous play he gave there. Stevie Lovell with his foot up.
You're right, it was dangerous play because it's an indirect free kick. The right arm is raised by the referee. Well, what a lead up for Celtic.
Yeah, a bit of a warning there for Celtic. Just a foot up there. Just taking the ball off the head of Balde.
By the rules, he's right, the referee, but how tough that is in Dundee. What a good finish it was too.
Yeah, super finish. He's capable of doing that.
A reminder there to Celtic that this game is not yet won, and indeed clearly believe they can do something. Third goal would surely be a killer though. McGeady's leading the charge here. Still McGeady. Mark Folling is in trouble in the centre circle. Taking a heavy knock. He's still struggling to get back involved in the play. See him now, number 8, just hurtling back into a defensive position. McGeady against Hernandez, very experienced defender against a young forward with lots of trickery. And McDonald had to go to that. Did well to clear.
Yeah, great play from McGeady there. Quick feet, skinning. Hernandez putting a dangerous ball in there. McDonald hearing the shot from the goalkeeper. Wise decision to get the ball away.
Stephen Pearson will take this corner kick. Sure they want to bend the flag back upright. Life easier? No, not with the short one. He's not worried about that. Here's McGeady now. Shooting chance. Well blocked by Smith. Following him forward. The layoff from Rob was careless. They don't have the look of a bottom of the league team, do they, Dundee?
They seem to be playing with plenty of freedom. Knock the ball around, try and be positive. But I think it's just the number of players that they have to use week in, week out, the changing of the side week in, week out, no continuity. And that's what makes it difficult for Jim Docker to string results together.
Aldi plays it long. Oh, a chance here for Petrov. Misunderstanding in defence by Dundee, and Stephen McNally sorts that out with some very good work against Petrov. Brady easing Pearson off the ball. It's Lennon back to McNamara. But he's still struggling to get quality possession of the ball. Balde. Goes Smith on McGeady. Foul's given. Well, you really are considering an unsung, hard-working hero, and Barry Smith must be just about the epitome of that kind of ability in the SPL.
Yeah, gets her a power of work, a lot on notice work, but covers every blade of grass in front of the back four.
Foul against Hartson.
His arm up there,
handball
there, scooping the ball through.
Well, Lovell had much more time than he realised there. On the end of that, he managed to get to the ball well there, taking on a Gat who recovered well. And this will take the throw. Foreigner stumbled, that was the problem. Smith gets it back, gives it to a Gat though. It's out of character. Now Brady. Clearance came from Petrov. This is Fotheringham. Smith to McDonald. A man. Picked out Rob very well indeed. That's good control from Rob. And Hernandez trying very hard to find a gap as he came inside. Ricochets off him for the goal kick. Then it's Will International.
Good positive play though from the fullback Hernandez. Super ball out from Bowman, the centre half. Quite prepared to run up there, get in, try and get in behind the Celtic defence.
So there's Headman playing that. The wind getting a little bit stronger now, playing against the wind. Kamara beat to that eventually by McNally. So here's Jackie McNamara taking his throw for Celtic. At the late stages of the match, perhaps a stage of the match, Mark, where Celtic might just be beginning to feel a little bit tired.
Yeah, the exertions of the midweek game, possibly, but I don't think they'll feel it so much as being 2-1 up and 1-0 down. I think they've got people on the bench that can come on if need be.
Also the energy of Kamara, who only came on for a short spell in Barcelona. Pearson and McGeady, fresh players, and they've been very impressive. So Jim Duffy trying to lift his men for one big final effort here to get back on terms. Martin O'Neill at the same time concerned to make sure there's no complacency such as that shown by Didi Again a few moments ago. This is Petrov and now Pearson. Being shown inside by McNally, that's good defending. But this is Kamara running into a solid figure of Bobby Mann. Rob. Good play again. Fotheringham. Brady. It's help here from Hernandez. Good play by Dundee. McNally needs someone coming short to him. Not really happening. He's going to switch the play to the far side. Well, was Fotheringham fouled? He thought so. Let's get away with that. Man did well in the end. It was an awkward bouncing ball. Barry Smith by the skipper. Anderson. Possession retained very carefully. Played long there by Fotheringham to the far side. There's Gary Brady. Rob again taking on Agat, as he's done so willingly all afternoon. Cross from Hernandez, headed away by Balde. One again by Hernandez, but there's Pearson in full flight, and now Kamara. Ready again. Lovell gives chase. Oh, he's troublesome again. Here's Lovell. Can he turn this in? He's managed it! Terrific goal by Lovell! What a finish by the Englishman!
We said before, similar sort of ball for his first goal. Up the side of the defender. This man has got blistering pace. He's got a determination to go with it as well. Keeper a little bit half-hearted there, but what a finish that is. Get his side back in it.
This looks impossible.
Absolutely fantastic finish there from Stevie Lovell. So this man was sent home from training on Thursday with a virus, low on energy levels, but still has the energy to finish. 9th goal of the season for Stevie Lovell.
Well, what a facer that is for Celtic. Looked to be cruising to a victory, and now they have to do it all over again. They did have a warning a few minutes ago when Lovell scored another one, which was chalked off for dangerous play. Well, here goes McNally. So 2 apiece here at Dens, and it's still 1-0 to Hearts at Ibrox. Still in the first half there, though. Put across there by McNally. The challenge is on McGeady by Rob. There's Rob again, full of ambition.
It's a good little spell this for Dundee. They've been chasing that goal. Celtic camped in the middle to last third. Been quite prepared to knock the ball around and be patient. Good spell for Dundee.
Well, Stevie Lovell played for Portsmouth and Bournemouth, would you believe? He was on loan with Exeter and Sheffield United. Jim Duffy brought him here to do this kind of job. So 9,573 is the official attendance here. 65,000 on Wednesday night in Barcelona. A little difference, and perhaps that would have some impact on these Celtic players in terms of the edge it puts on teams. Playing it forward there for Agat, has brought it down as Lovell runs offside. Celtic will not be content with this. We're going into these closing phases of the match. And when you think of the number of chances Celtic have carved out against those created by Dundee, really the score's remarkable.
There have been an area Celtic have been a dozen times where they've been behind the defence and pulling balls back. Just had lack of efforts on target.
Hernandez plays it long, too long for Rob. Well, great credit due to Jim Duffy in my view for the way he set this team up and the tactical formation he produced. A struggling team.
Well,
he's lost 5 of the home league matches here out of 8.
He's asked a question of Celtic. You know, he's not gone with a rigid 4-4-2 or a 4-5-1. You know, he's been pretty flexible, as he said before the game. Just passing the information on at the moment.
Never stops working there on that touchline. Really, for making a silk plus out of a sow's ear in management terms, Jim Duffy takes some beating.
Oh, it's a no-win situation for Jim Duffy.
Pearson being shown inside again by McNally. And the young fullback, I think, deserves a lot of credit. He was being skinned alive on the outside by Pearson, and he's made the alterations to make life more difficult. Brady taking too long in possession, allowing McNamara to challenge. McNamara took a knock in that exchange. Here's Agat. Right across towards Pearson. McNally did well again. This is Petrov. Now Lennon. McNamara has recovered. Here's Pearson once more. Now Petrov. Across it comes to McGeady. Dangerous in this position. A good tackle by Hernandez. All the experience required there.
Super play there from Hernandez. As you say, experience. Didn't take his eye off the ball.
Corner kick flighted into the far side there, where it's won by Ian Anderson. The header not too convincing. It's Pearson who retrieves it. Anderson's pulling over, making it easy for Pearson. Good challenge made by Mann. And now the charge led out by Fotheringham. Hasn't a lot of pace, but he's got a lot of good close control.
Just a lack of numbers up there to support him. Just leaving the ball, getting himself back into a solid formation at the moment. Dundee got to be careful of not getting camped back in their own half on the edge of their own box.
Well, we talked about the potential fatigue for these Celtic players having travelled in midweek, but indeed too they had to put so much into this. They too could feel a bit of tiredness now creeping in. Brady won't feel that. He's just come on a sub. Off goes Robb against Balde. Still Robb. Never quite had full control. Never quite had his balance there, Robb. This is a gap. Pushing forward much more now from Celtic. Held up well by Hernandez.
Working hard all over the park now. Dundee having to. Celtic have just kicked up a gear. Looking for the search of the third goal.
This is Kamara. Against Smith. There's McGeady. Brady made a good tackle. Fine play by Gary Brady. Turned away by Balde. Fotheringham battling hard for possession. He's done well. He's relished this opportunity against the club where he began his career. Pass wasn't a good one for Lovell. Easy for McNamara. Now Pearson. Back from Hartson to McGeady. Can Celtic produce a winner? Wagat held up by Robb. What a good contest that's been this afternoon.
That's been fascinating right from the first whistle. Those two have not stopped. Robb's been very, very positive, playing against one of the quickest players in the league, as you said, Nagat. But it's been a great confrontation.
Oh, here's Hartson. He's so strong in this position. Well held up. Good defending there by Callum MacDonald. The young defender did so well against Hartson there. This time it's Mann with the clearance. McNally. Well, you see what he's trying to do there, but the pass has too much pace on it for Fotheringham. Well, I suspect it'll be a very long closing spell, but about 10 minutes perhaps, including the stoppage time to be added. And Dundee having to battle all the way. Brady's pass finds Fotheringham, who's taken up such good position so often. That's into space for Lovell. Hedman did well. Well, Lovell certainly had the legs of Valharan for that.
Yeah, still running around. Thought he'd been faded by now, Stevie Lovell, but still prepared to chase balls.
Well, his performance has been truly remarkable, bearing in mind the fact that he was ill on Thursday.
It's a thankless task when you're flying up there, but he's worked hard. He's got his 2 goals.
There's Pearson with a shooting chance. Came off Petrov, it appeared. There's Bobby Mann thumping it away. Dundee now camped in their own penalty area. McNamara switches the play to McGeady. He might provide a little bit of craft required to break down the pack defence. Now Agat. Here's Petrov. Petrov has done well again. There's Hartson heading it back in. That is cleared off the line. The hand was used by Kamara as MacDonald and McNally fought to keep that out.
A fantastic ball in from him.
Yellow card for Kamara.
Petrov. Nod back there from Hartson. Desperate defending. It was a clear handball, but I think it was ball to hand, not hand to ball. Super defending from McAnally there.
Well, he's been yellow carded, Kamara. We got unlucky, I think. Well, Mark O'Neill has watched his team score 40 times in the league this season. Only 2 of these by Scots. One in the first game of the season against Motherwell by Jackie McNamara, and then again against Motherwell by Craig Beattie, the winning goal at Fir Park in October. Headed away there by Mann. This is McNally. Tidy play again from the young fullback. What a good pass. Here's Fotheringham. Wide for Robb. Boys willing and able to have a go at the gap once again. Back it comes to Hernandez. Have Dundee the temerity to go and win this?
Well, playing with plenty of confidence when they're going forward, still committing players forward, not just hanging on.
Poor pass out by Anderson.
Yep. Still committing players, 5 or 6 players forwards in advance of the ball there. Tells me that this team are looking for the winning goal as well.
And they resisted the temptation just to settle back and defend. I mean, it really would have been folly against Celtic. This is back now with McNamara. Here's Pearson. The angle ball cut off well by Mann. Good recovery by McNally. Looked as though Pearson may be away from him there. This is McNamara. The wrestling match goes on inside the area, and it's Hartson who's penalised for his challenge on Hernandez.
Yeah, just a couple of players coming together there. I think John Hartson just got himself onto Hernandez a little bit too early, sort of lost his feet. A little slip there, then Hernandez goes down.
No argument offered by John Hartson there. He knew that he was the player who committed the foul. So 3 minutes plus stoppage time. A lot of anxious eyes looking towards the fourth official at this stage to see how much time he'll add on. As Hartson plays it forward, here's Kamara. Souta's come a long way. He's done very well indeed, as he has done throughout this match.
Yeah, super play there from Souta. Was very aware that Kamara had the legs of the Dundee defender.
A change will be made by Dundee. I'm not surprised at that because it takes up some time. That's one good reason to do it, I think, for Jim Duffy. Tired miscue there by Lovell. Entitled to that though after his contribution this afternoon. Good play by McGeady. This is Belharin to McNamara. This is Petrov. Back with Lennon. Trying to pick out a forward pass to do some damage to Dundee. Goes via McGeady. McNamara now has possession. Turned across there by Hartson. McDonald did well. He's following the ball out. Look at the energy here. Balde did well. It's back now to Balde. Into the box it's sure to go. Blocked there by McNally. This is McNamara. Now Pearson racing inside. Supported by Lennon. Can he have a goal here? Lennon. Still Neil Lennon. Crosses a good one. It's well won by McNally inside the box. This is McNamara with a shot blocked there well by Anderson. The referee checking there's no afters there, and there wasn't, so there's no problem. And McGeady now can attack the flagging figure of Ian Anderson, injured early in the match, still there battling. This is Petrov. The chance this time, it's off the line. What a save it was there. Bobby Mann at the back. Hernandez helping out also. The Nia survived once again. And this is Balde retrieving. Need the ball back quickly. So still all square here at Dens, remarkably. And the flag is up here for a free kick to Celtic. Well, Rangers were a goal behind thanks to Paul Hartley's penalty, but Hearts is now level because Jamie McAllister has conceded an own goal at Ibrox. Rangers are back on level terms. well, they'll no doubt be listening to what's happening here and Ibrox. So really very interesting times indeed. Remember though, Rangers still in the first half of the match. Tired with a play there from Dundee. It's played long there by Agat, won by Mann. There's Fotheringham battling hard, and 1 minute of additional time will be added on. Time to hear about the man of the match, Mark. Well, the off-the-line clearance first. Let's check on that. This was saved brilliantly there by Hernandez.
Fantastic defending there. But I think it's no more than they deserve. I think Dundee have absolutely tireless afternoon's work. Got the lead, went behind, but had that relief. He's put in a tough shift as well.
Neil Barrett coming on to replace Ian Anderson. What a hero Ian Anderson's been, battling through injury. Barrett will come on in a similar position, I think, wide on the right hand side of midfield. So into stoppage time. There's just seconds remaining in this match. It looks as though Dundee will have snatched the point. Turned away there. Let's check on that man of the match, Mark.
I think for a performance, played up front all on his own, tireless effort he's put in. 2 great goals, 1 disallowed. Stevie Lovell, my Bank of Scotland man of the match.
Very hard to argue. Referee checking here as Dundee keep the ball at the corner flag. Fotheringham. I don't like this kind of play at all, I must say, but it is the professional thing to do, apparently. And Lennon getting a little bit upset. Charlie Richmond will work these here. It's a goal kick to Celtic. Scarcely time for anything to happen. We're well into stoppage time now. The referee said 1 minute to add on. The 1 minute has been played. He's checked his watch again. This could be the last chance. There won't be any time for it. The final whistle goes. Dundee have snatched an unlikely and remarkable point thanks to that man, Steve Lovell. Martin O'Neill graciously goes to shake hands with Jim Duffy. You could not but respect the performance of Dundee and of Lovell in particular. Jim Duffy set out a very ambitious, adventurous plan of action. It's paid off. They've had to ride their luck on frequent occasions, but they did so, and they had this man up front to make all the difference. For Martin O'Neill, 2 points have been dropped. Rangers have a chance to go top of the league. Here's the first goal. Brilliant pass from Lovell. Super finish by Lovell. And that's what gave Dundee the lead in the first half. But in the second half, though, it looked as though they would be pegged back when Henri Camara scored the equaliser just before McGeady set up Hearts of one of the easiest goals of the season. It looked safe and secure then for Celtic, but that was reckoning without the play of Steve Lovell. Just look at this finish. The one which has snatched 2 points from Celtic in the league race. A remarkable performance from Dundee. Celtic passed up so many chances, but in the end the scoreline tells the story. Dundee 2, Celtic 2.
Thanks, Jock. 25 points between them in the Bank of Scotland Premier League, and that is a priceless point for Dundee, which gets them off the foot of the table. How much damage it does to Celtic at the top, we don't yet know, with Rangers currently 1-1, as you've seen, against Hearts at Ibrox. Jamie McAllister's own goal cancelling out Paul Hartley's penalty for Hearts, which gave them the lead earlier. 2-2 was the way it finished at Dens, as you've just seen, and well, all credit has to go to Dundee, Craig.
Yeah, for work rate and endeavour, and little patches in the game. They actually played some decent football. First half they sat in, tried to frustrate Celtic. Obviously got the goal for Steve Lovell, the first goal against the run of play, and Derek Suter in the Dundee goal, certainly in the first half, made some terrific saves that kept them in the game.
How much would you make heavy legs a factor for Celtic coming off their exertions in Barcelona in midweek?
Well, it does play a part, but I fully expected Celtic to win this game today and win comfortably, to be honest. Dundee have been having a hard time. They are bottom of the league, but they've produced a performance today for Jim Duffy. I don't think he could ask for any more. Celtic had their chances, they just didn't take them, and as I said, Derek Suter in the goal had a fantastic day and didn't do anything wrong and really put the shutters up.
Celtic did have good performances as well. They can't say that they didn't create lots of chances, particularly through McGeady and Pearson.
We spoke about Pearson before. I thought he had a terrific game today. He showed what he's good at, was pace and getting box to box in the first half when he was playing from a central position. Then when he moved to the left hand side, he was absolutely annihilating the young fullback McNally, who'd been booked and couldn't dive in. But all Pearson was doing was banging the ball 15 yards past him and outpacing him. He showed great energy, some good cutbacks across the box, and young McGeady showed great feet and delivery at times in the game. So they did have their chances, Celtic. They scored 2 goals, obviously. Could have scored more, but they didn't get the rub of the green, and Dundee did and deserved the point for their hard work.
Yeah, they worked hard, but what won them the point today was the finishing of Steve Lovell. 2 remarkable finishes.
Yeah, as I said before, he's got a bit of talent, the lad. You know, he's had problems with injury, but as Mark Hateley said in commentary, he's got pace, he's got strength, and we've seen that with his second goal, getting in there amongst Headman and Baldy. Composure for the finish as well, so that'll do his confidence the world of good. 2 goals for him. He's a big player for them. They need to keep him fit. Surprised maybe he didn't play up alongside John Sutton today. Played up there on his own, which was a tactic which you have to say worked for Dundee, but Lovell was an inspiration for them.
I know you think I'm on 15% commission, but there must be some other clubs circling around looking at Steve Lovell thinking he's got power, he's got incredible pace, and with finishing like that he could certainly do it at a higher level.
Whether it's a Scottish club or an English club, he's played in England at 2 or 3 clubs, Portsmouth being the biggest one, so he has done it down there. People know the plight of Dundee, so you can maybe get in there and nick a player on the cheap, as maybe Rangers did with Novo, and if he keeps banging them in, then he will alert interest from other clubs, and Dundee need to get any sort of financial gain from any player that they can get, but whether or not they'll get a big enough fee for the likes of Lovell to stem the flow that they're losing financially remains to be seen.
And I guess what Jim Duffy's going to tell us when we hear from him after match is that wonderful performance and great result though it is, it's still only 1 point. It does get them off the bottom, but it's still going to be a fight to the finish, you would imagine, to get out of that drop zone.
Oh, it will be, there's no doubt about that. I mean, it's a point I don't think they would have expected they were going to get, to be honest with you. I mean, I certainly didn't. But Jim got his tactics right, his team worked hard. When they went 2-1 down, you think the game's dead and buried. But they fought back, and Mark Fotheringham was a decent performance in midfield as well. Stephen Robb was lively on the left, prepared to take on a Gath for pace. So he had some good performances from his place today. I don't think he's been entirely happy with the way his team's been performing of late, but he got a better performance today.
Let's hear from Mark Hateley, now that the dust has settled at Dens Park. And as a former striker yourself, Mark, well, you were okay, weren't you? You must have marvelled at that finishing from Lovell.
Absolutely fantastic performance from Steve Lovell. To say he was sent home from training on Thursday, suffering from a virus, no energy. I thought he just put in an incredible shift. A tireless, thankless sort of effort up front, just ploughing away, and he got his rewards right. First half, he took his goal very, very well. I think that was the first chance he had in the whole game. And the second half, 1 chance came along again to him. I think he made it himself. He chased the ball, as you said, Rob. He's got blistering pace. Went in with the goalkeeper, got a break, and just as cool as you like, just lobbed it into the far post. An absolutely fantastic performance from the striker.
A lot of people, when they saw the Dundee starting lineup, were wondering about the wisdom of leaving out both Sutton and Caballero, 2 great striking options for Dundee. But, well, I guess there's your answer.
Absolutely. I think I spoke to Jim before the game, and he just said he would left Caballero and Sutton because of, I think, just poor performances that they've been playing. So he was going to play that flexible system that he played today, which in the first half I thought it took Celtic a while to come to terms with, but after that I think the goal came against the run of play, which took the pressure off Dundee a lot, put the pressure onto Martin O'Neill's side to come out, and to be fair, I think that Celtic did create an awful lot of chances today without really any end product. I thought the amount of times they got to the byline and cut the ball back, there was enough chances there to win 2 games today, but they failed to do that, and I think they got punished at the other end.
Do you blame poor finishing for that, or do you blame the poor quality on the final ball? Because as you say, they did get in behind plenty.
Well, they got plenty of balls across the box. I think towards the end there was it was desperate defending from Dundee. I think you just have to be more committed when you know the ball's going to be getting in there. Pearson especially was flying the ball across the box in the second half. And there was just, I thought, a lack of, a willingness to get across that front defender. The amount of times that Hernandez and Barry Smith just inside the far post were clearing the ball. It just needed a runner, the likes of Petrov or Hartson to get in front of those defenders. And it's a simple tap in, as was John Hartson, for his goal. There was 3 or 4 occasions like that where there were similar sort of chances.
Thanks, Mark. And back in the studio here with Craig. I guess Celtic, Craig, don't know what damage they've done at this stage. They might indeed have done no damage. They might be a point better off once we know the outcome at Ibrox.
Well, it's a tough game for Rangers at Ibrox. Hearts are a decent side, and but it's a point for Celtic, but it's not the result that they've been looking for. And from Dundee's point of view, you know, it's a valuable 1 point.
So it finished 2-2 at Dens Park between Dundee and Celtic. Coming later, of course, we'll be giving you all the reaction from this match and also the action from Ibrox. That's next. 4 goals in a live match at Dens Park this afternoon. It finished all square between bottom club Dundee, they were pre-match, and top team Celtic. Henri Camara and John Hartson for Celtic, and Steve Lovell scored both the goals for the home team. 60-40 in possession terms in favour of Celtic, but it's a point apiece for those two at close of play. Coming soon, we'll be hearing from both the managers, from Jim Duffy and from Martin O'Neill, and from the man of the match, Steve Lovell. All the action to come as well from all the other weekend games in the SPL, and the phone in with Marcus.
The final whistle has blown at Dens Park, and we want to hear what you have to say on today's game. You can put your point of view to Billy McNeil and to Mark Guidi of the Sunday Mail. All you have to do is pick up the phone. Celtic, Rangers and Hearts all played in Europe this week. Cally Thistle got a new manager, but Scotland didn't. How long before we hear who succeeds Bertie? The smart money is on Walter Smith. The number to dial is 08712 442 504. You can also text us. Text the word Scottish, followed by your comment and your name. The text number is 800-88.
The length of the league between them, but it finished Dundee 2, Celtic 2 at Dens. Here's the Dundee manager, Jim Duffy, with Scott Booth.
Jim, congratulations. You said before the game you wanted to try something different and cause Celtic problems. Are you happy you did that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you scored 2 goals and we had a few shots and one disputed one as well, then I think we've got to be pleased with that performance.
It's one of these days as well where you can maybe give yourself a pat on the back for trying something new tactically?
Well, I don't know about that. It's down to the players. Say before, if you do well, the players get the praise. If you don't do well, the magic's the stick. That's the role we play.
Steve Lovell had a great performance today and scored 2 great goals. Can you talk us through them now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first one, Matt Fotheringham plays the ball, and I mean, Stevie's got great accelerations, we know, but Fozzie lifts his head, plays a perfectly weighted pass, and Stevie does what all good strikers play. It stays on the shoulder, you know, of the defender there, and he just times his run to perfection, and it's a lovely side foot finish into the far corner, and that's, as you know, Scott would try and do is put it across the goal anyway, and if it makes us, like, see one of the other players like Stephen Robb coming in, if it doesn't get him, maybe he can get it. And the second one's like sheer strength and pace, power and perseverance, and obviously a great finish at the end there. I mean, that is a magnificent finish by any standard. You know, he's got the pace to get in behind, the strength and determination to go and try and win the ball, but then he just adjusts his feet and plays a lovely little side foot volley, cushion side foot into the far corner. And that's a fantastic goal, and I think we thoroughly deserved at least a point today.
And as far as Steve himself, because he almost didn't make the game today through a virus.
Yeah, he missed training. Friday, we sent him home on Friday, and he phoned this morning. We get the doctor to look at him today, but I've told him, you know, we're going to try and get him that same cold every week if he plays like that, because he was outstanding.
The right side took a bit of a hammering for you today. Is that where the game could have been lost, though?
Yeah, we knew that. I mean, we played Alex Credero there, who's strictly a forward, as I mentioned to you. You've got to take a little risk sometimes, Scott. You know, we knew that was an area where we might have got some problems, and it was. I mean, I thought Steve McNally played very well in one-to-one situations, but McGeady in the first half, and then Celtic changed it. Put Pearson out there. He was more direct, with more pace. So eventually we changed it. We put Ian Anderson out there. I think that in the last 10 minutes that helped us tighten up in that area. But you know, we took a risk one way, gambled the other way, and I think you know, to get a 2-2 draw with Celtic, it showed it paid off.
I could see you constantly trying to push your team up. Was that vital against Celtic?
Yeah, I mean, Celtic's got the you know, both options. They've got the pace of Kamara. If you push up and you're too square, then they can exploit that. But if you sit in the box, they'll just hit John Hartson and play around them. So it's just getting that balance right. But you know, we defended pretty well today. Obviously, we lost a couple of goals which we would have liked to have done better at. But over the piece, I can't complain. I thought it was a fantastic team performance, and you know, I'm proud of the players today.
Well, we can actually see the level high foot incident here that was actually why it was chalked off.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you know, the referees may be giving it, but Celtic are sort of delaying on the ball there, and I think as it's coming down, he's just taking the ball away from him. And I think if you see players all the time scoring with overhead kicks, but it's a great piece of control again. and he's just swiveled it, hit it on the drop, and a magnificent finish again. So I think he's a bit unlucky there. I think if he, you see players bicycle kicks and you never see them getting chalked off for dangerous play, that one there I think were a bit unfortunate.
You're looking for more responsibility to take on from your players. Do you think you got that today?
No, we did get that. There's absolutely no doubt. Said we've got to go and show a bit of character today, and they've done that. And as I said, I can't praise them highly enough.
And you'll need that again in the coming weeks because 4 out of your 5 games are away from home.
Yeah, we know that now, but this has given us a boost to everyone at the club. No one expected to take heading from today's game. Probably most people thought we would just get rolled over by Celtic, but that's not the case. We've set a little bit of a standard now, and we've got to try and move on from there. But we can't just say, well, that's one game and sit back again. We've got to push on, and we've now got a bit more healthier competition for places, and hopefully that result will give us a bit of confidence.
Jim, thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Scott.
Second half underway at Ibrox, and it remains Rangers 1, Hearts 1. Any goals in the second half, we'll bring them to you as they happen. And of course we'll give you a lengthier look at that game later on as we review the whole weekend of SPL action. That was Dundee, only Dundee's 13th point of the season, but it sure was a priceless one. It just shows you, even Craig, though Celtic at time were ripping them to shreds, Dundee toughed it out.
Yeah, especially down Celtic's left, Dundee's right. They were very open down the young boy McNally got exposed, but they dug in. They did ride the luck a bit at times with balls getting cleared off the line, and Suter played well as well in the goal for them. So when you're bottom of the league, sometimes those little things don't go for you, but today they did go for Dundee. Celtic could easily have racked up 4 or 5 goals. They didn't, and Dundee exploited that.
And sometimes the problem for a manager like Jim Duffy is that players will lift themselves when Celtic are in town, but they don't do it in the matches against teams around about them in the bottom of the table, which are the ones they need to win.
Yeah, I think that's a problem really for the whole of the SPL. I think teams do raise their game when Celtic and Rangers come to town, and then we see when they're playing each other, they're cutting each other's throats, and that's why there's a big gap between the two. There's obviously a gap in quality as well, but it's important for a player, for his pride, that you've got to play to your maximum ability every week, not just when the big guns come in and play and you want to put on a show in front of a big crowd. So Jim will be looking for more of the same for his players, and if he gets that kind of performance as he got today, then I think they'll be okay.
We've heard from the Dundee manager. Let's hear from the man of the match, 2-goal Steve Lovell with Scott.
Steve, congratulations. Should I now be interviewing you midweek, every week?
Yeah, well, it would be nice if I could score 2 goals every week, but we're just pleased about getting a result today, because that was the most important thing.
It was a surprise at all that you were playing because you were unwell during the week.
Yeah, I came down with flu-like symptoms on Friday night, so it was touch and go whether I was going to play today, but it's a big game and I don't want to miss a game against Celtic.
Especially when you turn a performance in like that.
Yeah, well, that's a bit of luck, I suppose, but we're just pleased to have got the result because we've gone through a bit of a rough patch recently.
Well, Steve, you talk about a bit of luck, but can you talk us through your finishes here? They're unbelievable.
Sure. Obviously, Fozzie's picking it up, and in training we look for the through balls, and he's played a brilliant ball through. It's just about putting it across the goal, and it's gone in.
Do you think Headman went down too quickly there?
Probably not, no.
Just quality finish.
Yeah, well, it's come off the post. You need that bit of luck, so we're just pleased to have got the draw, like I said.
And then the second one comes here, again an unbelievable finish, I think.
Yeah, I just put pressure on the defence, and I think that was the only thing I could have done, to be honest with you. 9 times out of 10 they don't go in, but this time it did.
Was that part of the game plan today to cause as many problems as possible?
Sure, yeah, the manager put just me up front on my own, and was just to work the centre-backs really, and that's paid off.
How was that to play up front on your own against Celtic? Because they're a strong team, and for you to have no support in that way must be difficult.
Yeah, but it's I think we played well. We worked. Everyone did their job today. We played with 2 out wide, and I thought Stephen Robb did really well today. Showed great pace, and we're just pleased we got a result.
Could this now kick-start your season?
Hopefully, yeah. I really hope so, because we put in some good performances, but the results haven't come our way.
Well, it certainly kick-started your own season, and you are today's Bank of Scotland man of the match. Well done, Steve.
Thank you.
No great arguments this week about Mark Hateley's choice as the top player of the afternoon. 2-goal Steve Lovell gets the champagne, but he was handing out some plaudits there himself to Stephen Robb, who did well for Dundee. Callum MacDonald put in a good shift in central defence alongside Bobby Mann, and Derek Suter, Craig, as well, was another who denied Celtic at times.
Yeah, again, terrific performance from Suter today. gets his chance because Speroni's left to go to England, and Scotland under-21 goalkeeper, although I must admit I was, said before, surprised when he told me he was 21, you know. But nevertheless, he's got ability. This is a save early on in the first half from Henri Camara, who does well, makes a bit of space for himself on his left-hand side, and it's a good effort, but Suter would be expecting to save that one, and he did do, and really, he stands tall and makes it difficult. He saves it with his legs, and really that was indicative of his performance today.
Yeah, and it was an important stage of the match, wasn't it, in which Dundee could have gone behind maybe more than once, but they stood firm, stood tall, and that was good goalkeeping from Suter. Stayed up until the last moment, kept
yeah,
the
because Dundee weren't in the game at that point, to be honest. As an attacking force, they weren't really offering much, but Lovell was up front on his own. He became more prominent as the game went on, but at that point it was all Celtic, and it was one-way traffic, and Suter had to be called on quite a few occasions, and when he was, he did well.
Let's have a look at Steve Lovell's opening goal for about the 17th time, but I'm sure you're not complaining because it was a top quality finish, this.
As he said, you know, working these things in training, where to pass the ball, I think, is important for Mark Florham. That little channel in between the full-back and the centre half, and he makes a run, Steve Lovell, that all good strikers should do. He's got the pace to do it. You know, if he wasn't as quick, he's not getting here, but you can see that first 5 or 6 yards, he's got the pace to burst away. Arguably, he could have cut that back. You know, but he decided being a striker, wants to get the goal, went himself, and I have to say it was a very, very good finish from that angle. But, you know, the goal's all down to one, the pass, and two, Steve Lovell's run. Once he makes that run in behind Vohar and gets himself into a good position, Headman comes out and really makes his mind up for Steve Lovell, and he slots it away nicely.
I think that's what you call a sucker punch, because Celtic in the first half had most of the possession, most of the pressure. They were regularly getting into the final third, regularly getting in behind the Dundee defence, and here was Suter making an even better save.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Stilian Petrov do this for 3 or 4 years now. Good little ball back to him there from McGeady. And once Petrov gets in that position, you fully expect him to go in and finish, because he's done it many, many times. But he found a goalkeeper today in inspired form. But it was good play from Celtic. They did that on quite a few occasions in the first half. Little balls in behind, got in behind the Dundee back four, but when they got there, they found Suter in top form.
Celtic left their Brazilian on the bench. Dundee played their first ever Brazilian. We didn't see too much of Alex Cerdeira. This was before he was substituted. Decent shot.
Yeah, as I say, it was a good effort, very, very good strike. It's very early, I think the second minute of the second half, but really he didn't contribute much to the game. I think Jim Duffy was saying he was asked to play slightly out of position, dropping back more into a midfield role to help out in there, and he's more of a striker, so pretty quiet game for him, but he worked hard, and that was his only real one effort and goal.
Stephen Pearson looked at one point as if he might get the Man of the Match award. He was very influential for Celtic today, and trying to make the most of one of his rare opportunities to start.
Yeah, I thought he had a terrific game. You know, he does everything right here. His pace gets him in. I mean, he was up and down this left-hand side in the second half unbelievably well. He was just ripping the full-back apart for pace. Didn't have to use any skill. His pace and his legs gets him there. I think he's got to be expecting one, if not two, of the strikers to be getting in there across the face. As Mark Hateley said, getting in there and getting the goals. John Hartson pulled out looking for the cutback. But Pearson does everything right there.
He'll be looking for a run in the team, Stephen Pearson, but he'll probably be disappointed when Alan Thompson's available again. Well,
the trouble is, Thompson's such a quality player. I mean, they're two different players. You know, Pearson's more pace and brawn and getting box to box. Alan Thompson's not really like that. He's more of a cultured left foot. But I think Stephen Pearson's best position for me is actually in one, in the central midfield, where he started the game today. I know when he moved to the left-hand side, probably played there for about an hour today, the last hour of the game. He did play very, very well. But I like him in the middle, making late runs for midfield, because he's got the legs to do that, and the more games he gets, the better he'll get in there.
Should Martin O'Neill find room for him then in that central area where pace can really hurt?
Well, Petrov normally plays in there, but he's been playing on the right as well at the moment, and sometimes Chris Sutton's been coming back. So it is difficult, because there's a lot of experience, a lot of good players at Celtic, and it's difficult for young Pearson to get a run on the side. But I think if he does, it'll not only benefit Celtic and Pearson, benefit Scotland as well, because we're crying out for people like that, box-to-box midfielders that can get in there and help the strikers out by scoring goals from midfield.
Mark Fotheringham was prominent for Dundee in creating the first goal for Steve Lovell, and he might have scored himself after a lovely bit of skill in midfield.
Well, he started his career at Celtic, didn't make the grade there. You know, he's got ability, this lad. You know, he's got good feet. You know, sometimes he dwells in the ball and tries to do, you know, the difficult thing too many times and not keep his game simple. But he is very capable. He's strong, has to work on his fitness, but good skill there. You can see he's got good feet. He can strike a ball with both right and left foot, as we've seen there, and I thought he had a good game today, Mark Florham. Again, he's not played regular in his time at Dundee, so he needs to get more games. but he needs to keep his game simple. I think the only thing with Mark is he tends to overcomplicate at times.
It was inevitable that Celtic would eventually find the back of the net. They did through Henri Camara. 12 minutes into the second half, and this was his 8th goal of the season.
Yeah, I think he needs to be scoring for his confidence, because, you know, I think some of the Celtic fans still asking questions about Camara's performances, but I thought he did quite well today. And again, it's Pearson causing all sorts of problems. Petrov getting in the box as he does so well. John Hartson miskicks it, and Henri Camara, he's not really going to miss from there. And at this point in the game, you think Celtic are going to run amok, because there was only one team in it. Once the ball drops in there, Souttar's out the game, and it's a good finish. But all the problems were caused by Pearson down this left-hand side, and you can see there he's 3 yards out, Rob. He's not going to miss from there. Again, Souttar making I think it was Souttar making a block there early on, but in the end, ball drops to Camara, and it's an easy tap in.
But still, Camara's goals are coming in the SPL. Celtic are grateful for them, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
He doesn't look likely to score in the Champions League or in the UEFA Cup if Celtic
Well, I think
find
he's
themselves
scored
there.
7 or 8 now, and John Hartson's got 15, so there's the difference. He needs to be chipping in with that sort of amount of goals as well. Yeah, he is getting goals in the SPL, but you know, they haven't been getting goals when they really need them, and I still think the jury's out on him. I mean, Janino, we didn't even play a part today sitting on the bench, so the 2 signings have not quite worked out, but Camara's been, you know, if he keeps scoring, his confidence will get better.
Rangers have scored again at Ibrox. They are now 2-1 up against Hearts. It was 1-1 at half-time. Nacho Novo, lovely finish, lofting the ball over Craig Gordon. And Rangers, having been 1 down to Paul Hartley's penalty, are now 2-1 ahead. Jamie McAllister's own goal was the equaliser, and now Nacho Novo has scored, and if the scoreline were to stay that way, Rangers will go top of the league tonight, so we'll keep tabs on that one as it progresses. Currently, Rangers 2, Hearts 1. Craig was talking there about John Hartson's 15 goals this season. Well, Hartson thought this was number 15, but it was ruled out for offside.
Yeah, I think we don't see from this angle. John uses his strength at the back post, just bundles the defender over. I think you can see when the ball's played there, he's just slightly half a yard in an offside position, and once he heads it in, it's a late flag from the assistant referee, but it's a correct decision. But you know, you can't leave John Hartson that kind of space, but he just strayed half a yard off.
All the threat for Celtic was really coming down the left-hand side. McGeady and Pearson creating opportunities for them, and it was down that side that they set up the goal which actually stood for Hartson.
Yeah, I mean, again, Agedi, I thought had a very good game today. Preferred to Janino, and I think rightly so. He's looking lively at the moment. But the full back here is too wide. He should be tucking round. You see in a moment, John McNally's the ball to the wide's not a danger. He's got to be tucking in and helping his teammate. He's not. He doesn't tuck in enough. Allows the space for McGeady. McGeady does well, it has to be said. Good feet to get in. And somebody with John Hartson's quality is not going to miss from there. And that's one of the easiest goals John Hartson will get this season. All the hard work done from McGeady, but from a Dundee point of view, that was avoidable, Rob.
It's a good return, that, isn't it? We're not finished with November yet, and that's 15 goals for John Hartson. And the difference between Hartson and Camara is that he did score in the new camp Wednesday night.
Yeah, there's a capable, very, very good player, John Hartson. The trouble is for Celtic is that, you know, the contract situation's not sorted out, and newspapers this morning suggesting a few big clubs might be sniffing about John, and rightly so. So from Celtic point of view, they've got to get that sorted one way or the other and get John signed up.
Steve Lovell was at the centre of everything attack-wise for Dundee today, and he wondered here whether he might have had a penalty, and there was certainly a laying on of hands from Agat.
Yeah, Agat gets close. I don't think it's a penalty, to be honest. You know, it's just one of those things. But I mean, if the leg had been, you know, flung out a bit more there by Agat, it possibly could have been given. But I think that would have been soft. But Lovell was a thorn in Celtic side all afternoon. Really, a fantastic performance from him.
Here's the disallowed Steve Lovell goal. It wasn't a goal, and Jim Duffy took exception to this decision because he reckoned, well, boots go as high as this when people score with overhead kicks.
Well, you can argue really that he didn't do much wrong there, to be honest, and Neil Lennon was berating Diri Agat for not clearing the ball from the box, and it could have resulted in a goal. It didn't. Yeah, his foot's high, but I think he's entitled to go for that, and once again, it's a great touch. Watch the touch here. Baldy misses the header, and once he gets it down, it's a great finish. The referee disallowed it, but that one could have went either way, Rob.
I don't think Steve Lovell will ever put away 2 more difficult chances in the one game. It looked an almost impossible angle for goal number 1, and this one again was the most composed of finishes in the tightest of situations.
Yeah, just a long ball over the top from Gary Brady, and that's terrific. I mean, once he gets it, Hedman's actually brave. Hedman comes out. You see Marcus Hedman comes out here at the feet of Steve Lovell. The ball breaks for luck. Once he gets in that position, doesn't panic. And I have to say that's a terrific finish. Jim Duffy rightly delighted with his striker, and that'll do his confidence the world of good. Maybe Bobo Baldi could have got a bit tighter there to him, but I think you've got to give all the credit to Steve Lovell there. That was a fantastic finish, and Dundee at that point were, you know, they were playing some decent stuff, and you know, from not looking likely to getting anything out of the game, you thought they might actually go on and get a winner.
And I guess 9 goals for Lovell is comparable to John Hartson's 15 for Celtic when you consider the amount of chances that are created for him.
Well, that's right. It's difficult because he's playing in a struggling side. He won't get as many chances, but he is a talented player. Needs to keep himself fit. He's got the pace. We see he's got the composure. Maybe somebody will be sniffing about him. I don't know. If he keeps doing that, then he'll certainly give himself a chance of getting a move if that's what he's after. But he's a terrific player.
Celtic pushing and pushing, of course, in the closing stages for a winner. Fair play to Dundee. They stuck it out.
Yeah, I mean, they rode the luck at times, they did, but I think they deserved that for the amount of work they put in, the amount of endeavour. As I said, Jim in recent performances lost 4-1 last week at home to Hibs. He was not happy with that. So the performances have not been great. That performance we got from Dundee today, I have to say, was unexpected. I thought Celtic would roll over them quite easily today, but that wasn't the case.
And it was a patchwork Dundee side as well when you think about it, because there was no Sancho, no Hutchison, Lee Wilkie isn't back yet, and Callum MacDonald, as we said, filling in central.
Well, I think it's a patchwork side for Dundee most weeks, to be fair. He just hasn't got the amount of players, he hasn't got the quality, he hasn't got the quantity in terms of squad. So he will be chopping and changing, Jim, as the season, and Dundee, until they get the finances right, they're just going to have to go along with that.
Here's Celtic pushing in the closing stages for a winner, but in the end they had to settle for a point.
I mean, again, it's down this left-hand side, Celtic's left-hand side, and Petrov gets in here, cuts it back, and I'm not sure if camera, you know, if the defender puts him off, or he just miskicks it, but he's 8 yards out, 6 yards out. I just don't think he catches that. That was a very, very good chance for Cameron. I think that again is indicative of his lack of confidence, but you would have expected with him scoring a goal that he'd have went on and put that one in the back of the net, because Petrov set it up for him beautifully, but he didn't take it.
Celtic had to settle for a